All right, well, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to our Geek Talk. My name is Alyssa. I am the campus manager here at 4Geeks Academy. I'm going to be doing the intro tonight, which is going to be a brief introduction into 4Geeks, who we are and what we do. An intro to our speaker tonight, who is Victoria, who's here with us, and the project roster of presentations that we'll be presenting tonight. So give me a sec while I get the presentation shared with you all. Beautiful. So as I mentioned, we have 3 cohorts graduating tonight, one from each of our 3 main programs that we offer here at 4Geeks. So we have full stack number 78, cybersecurity number 4, and data science 10. So a little bit about 4Geeks. We are a coding bootcamp. We have been around since 2015. When we first launched, we had just our full stack program, and it was in person here in Miami. When COVID happened in 2020, that program went online, and we were able to accept students from all over the country at that point. So we realized that there was demand for this program, not just in Miami, but throughout the USA. So we decided to not only offer the in-person program in Miami once COVID got over and we opened that back up, but to also keep the program online and welcome students from all over the country. Not only do we run that program in the USA, but we also have it in Latin America and Europe. And then in 2020, we launched our data science program. And in 2023, we launched our cybersecurity program. So now we have 3 main programs. Throughout the campuses throughout the world, which are spread, as I said, between the USA, Latin America, and Europe, we've graduated close to 5,000 students now. About 85% of our students land jobs within the first 90 days after graduation. We have partnerships established with major industry players, from hiring partners to financing partners to places like Career Karma, SwitchUp, Course Report, to governments, things like Tech Boost, United Way Miami, that help our students pay for tuition, a variety of different partners that help us do what we do. And we've been rated by a few different platforms, as we'll see on the next site, as one of the top coding boot camps in the world. So last year in 2024, we were actually featured in Forbes 3 times. So we got top 5 full stack boot camps, top 5 data science boot camps, and top 5 boot camps with job guarantee. So at that point, this question of, is this real or is this a scam, stopped coming in. You know, once we were in Forbes, people started to believe that, yes, we are a real school. But we are a real school. We are licensed by the U.S. Department of Education. We've won other awards like Best Coding Bootcamp from Premios Excelencia Educativa. This is a Spain organization. SwitchUp is a big one here in the USA. It's similar to Course Report, Career Karma. And we have an average of 4.9 reviews across all the platforms. So to be licensed by the Department of Education in Florida, there is, inspections, syllabus review. They review the resume of the instructors and the administration. It's a pretty rigorous process. So it does show that, yes, we are a real school and we know what we're doing. Our main mission here at 4Geeks is to reduce what we call the underemployment rate. So yes, the unemployment rate, but also the underemployment rate. So the underemployment or underemployment in general is when somebody's doing a job that isn't their full potential. So maybe they have the ability to be a software developer, but because they don't have access to education or the resources, maybe they're driving Uber or they're working in as a waiter or waitress at a bar, or they're doing long overnight shifts in a warehouse and things like this. So we want to get them access to the course materials and the skills and the career support so that they can land jobs that, number 1, increase their salary, and number 2, give them a better work-life balance. So we have 2 main platforms that help make this possible, which are called GeekPal and GeekForce. So GeekPal is your unlimited access to 4Geeks Academy. So you always have access to us via Slack, via one-on-one mentorships that you can schedule, and via group sessions that we host weekly or sometimes more than once weekly, depending on the program. So even though the classes are remote and online, in a lot of cases, we never want you to feel like you're alone. We always want you to feel like you have somebody there who can answer your questions and support you. And then GeekForce is very similar to GeekPal in the sense that somebody's always there for you. But in GeekForce, that somebody is a career support expert. So one-on-one meetings, group meetings, a laid out process to follow to help you get your first job in tech. So you guys have access to our team of Valentinas, as we like to joke. Our career support team has 4 people, and 3 of them are named Valentina, who get you through our 3-stage process and help you to increase your salary and get a job, hopefully with better work-life balance than you previously had. These are some examples of companies that hire our students. At the top, you'll see more big companies, National Geographic, Microsoft, Facebook, Uber. As you work your way down, you'll see more mid-sized to small companies. However, here in Miami, which is a huge startup scene, working for a big company or working for a small company each have their pros and cons. I've always liked to find this kind of like sweet spot in these middle-sized companies because I feel that there's more room for growth. You get more personal connections with the administrative staff and even the CEO in many cases. Your decision making has a lot more power in these small to mid-sized companies, but a lot of people like to go for those big name companies so they can say, I got a job at Microsoft, and that happens here too. So both have their pros and cons, but our grads are working at a wide range of companies. And then I talked a little bit about our partners before, from financing partners to hiring partners to additional project building or hackathons, a variety of different partners that help us makes what we do possible. So today's presentation, we have 5 projects presenting. So we have 2 cybersecurity projects, one from Paul and one from Mohamed. We have Squad Up with Juan and Darius. We have Judicial Vacancy Predictor with Nicholas. And we have Trip Thread with Juan, Annabelle, and Mona Lisa. Our speaker tonight is Victoria. I went to go grab her title from LinkedIn, and it was just all of the amazing things that she is doing. So instead of reading it out loud, I'll let you guys glance it over. She is a very well-rounded individual, and she'll be giving her speech tonight. One moment. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather. And yeah, actually, that's the end of me. So I will pass it over to Victoria.
Thank you so much, Alyssa. Thank you for having me. I put together also a very, very short presentation. I'm not really going to bore you with all of that, but I wanted it to have a visual so you guys could see. And also because I'm very passionate about AI. I'm assuming a lot of people are. So Gamma is one of my favorite things. Let me know if you guys can see it.
So far, yes.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, like Elisa said, my name is Victoria Moser. I'm currently the Director of Events and Partnerships at South Florida Tech Hub here in South Florida. And I'm also co-founder and CTO at Tech Besties. And most recently, I'm also the creator of a Make It Ambitious squad and podcast. I can tell you guys a little bit about that later if you're interested. But before I get into my path, I want to know about you. Raise your hand if you are a career switcher or the first person to pursue tech in your family. Many.
I am one of those.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I can see that I'm not alone, and it's always inspiring for me to see everybody and your trajectories. So I'm so excited to see that there are many career switchers here because I am one of them too. So actually, my path was a little bit different. I'm a biologist by trade. That's what I studied. And when I graduated from my biology, I found myself just working in a clinical laboratory because I was supposed to be a doctor like my mom, Hispanic parents, and you're supposed to do what your parents did and all of that. But I somehow ended up needing a year in between that and going to medical school. And I was working in this clinical laboratory, and quickly I realized that that was just not for me. So I started teaching myself how to code. And through that is how I found actually WinCode. So I'm a WinCode alumni. For those of you who don't know, now it's called Brain Station, but it was something similar to 4Geeks. And so when I finished Wing Code, I started working as a freelance developer. At that time, Wing Code was teaching Ruby on Rails, so that's what I am versed in, and JavaScript, HTML, CSS, obviously, all of that stuff. But eventually, I moved into a cybersecurity role in a big bank, and while I was there, I found myself being the only woman in my team and also being one of three women in a whole floor. And that experience kind of like motivated me to look into girls in tech. So I joined that in Dallas. There was a chapter in Dallas, and I joined their board and I started working in the DEI community there. And I loved it so much. And when I moved back to Miami, I decided to start my own community in Miami. So I made the Girls in Tech Miami community. And through that, I found Girls in Tech HQ. I didn't know they were more a real company and a global organization. So I pivoted into that. And I ran all of their global programs, including hackathons, boot camps, and cybersecurity, and data analytics type of boot camps with companies like Trend Micro and Nike and Verizon, and a really big conference as well that we put every single year. It was one of my favorite projects that I did. It was a lot of work, but it was also very rewarding. And we will get a lot of speakers from amazing companies and just see their stories and how they got to where they at. So I'm very passionate about that too. And that eventually led me to the events and partnerships at South Florida Tech Hub, which is what I'm here to tell you guys about. But on the side, I also co-founded Tech Besties with my bestie, which is the reason why it's called that. And also because it's for women and allies. So we didn't want it to have a name that was just for girls, like Girls in Tech. So Tech Besties was the best thing we came up with, and I think it encompasses that. And I'm currently working on a accountability type of community where I can tell you a little bit more about that if you're interested later, but I call that Make It Ambitious because it's just for ambitious people in general that want to work on their goals and just set a time to do that together. So yeah, that's a little bit about that. And then here is how you guys can get involved. So at South Florida Tech Hub, we are a very supportive community. It's local, and we have a lot of partners all throughout South Florida, all the way from like the Treasure Coast all the way down to Miami. So no matter where you are, if you are in South Florida, you can definitely get something through us. So far right now, we have a couple of events coming up that I think you guys might like. For example, our Tech Talent Fest, that one is happening in October 10th. And basically, we just have a lot of hiring companies that are going to come there and interview you on the spot and hire you. So for that, you would come prepared with your resume. And if you're not sure about that, but I heard that Elisa has the Geek Force, so I'm sure you probably have amazing resumes already if you keep working with them. You can then use those resumes to come to the Tech Talent Fest and just meet all of these amazing companies that are basically interviewing you on the spot. It's like a hiring fair. So that's coming October 10th. And then we also have Tech Hub Pulse events coming up as well. The Tech Hub Pulse is our conference that we do every year at South Florida Tech Hub, and that one is on December 4th. And that one is going to be in the Broward Convention Center. And it's for everybody, developers, entrepreneurs, innovators. So we bring a lot of very amazing speakers to tell you how they got to where they got or speak on very specific topics because there are a lot of tracks. We're going to have about 8 tracks. Cybersecurity is one of them. Data science is one of them as well, because I know you guys are graduating from those. So it will be a good place to network as well. And we're also going to have a little bit of a hiring fair there too, included in the bigger conference. And the most recent event that we're having is going to be Golden Palm Awards, and that one used to be a gala, but this year is gonna be more chill, and it's just an awards at a brewery with like bites and drinks and all of that. So yeah, and then on the other side, I also, if you want to learn more about Tech Besties or the Make It Ambitious Squad, let me know as well. That's just my personal thing. And you can reach out to me to learn more about that. So yeah. And here is how you can reach out. You can either join our Tech Hub newsletter for events, opportunities, and just to have updates on the ecosystem. I'll share those links here in the chat. And then also, you can reach out to me personally if you want to discuss anything on mentorship or if you want to partner as well with the hub, or just join our community in general. I'm happy to answer any questions on that. And that's it about me. I didn't want it to be all about me. So I'm open to all the questions that you guys may have that I can answer, no matter if it's personal or about the hub or big or small, it doesn't matter. Just I'm open to anything.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Any questions?
Oh, somebody raised their hand. Looks like.
Yes, I have a question. So basically, in the events that they're gonna be hosting, are they like planned events for all year round? So every year they're gonna be hosting those events, and they're gonna be like every season of the year, or any
Oh,
specific
yes.
date?
Yeah, great question, actually. I feel like I kind of skipped into that. So, yes. So, the Golden Palm Awards, the Tech Talent Fest, and the Tech Hub Pulse are yearly events. But I did skip over the most important part, which is what I wanted to talk to you guys about the most, actually, which is our dev dives. Yes, our dev dives are our monthly technical workshops. They're for developers, and they have different subjects, and that one is monthly. Every month we have those. And basically, there's a speaker who knows a lot about one specific subject, and they either teach you about that or they build with you. So most of the times you have to bring your computer and you have to actually code with them. And those happen every month. So if you join the newsletter, you can 100% learn about those, because we send those all the time, and on our website as well. I can share that here in a bit. Go ahead, Matthias. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name.
No. You might can go first. She raised her hand as well.
Okay.
Hi, Victoria. Thank you
Hi.
for a very detailed explanation. So I saw earlier you said let's stay connect. May I please ask you prefer like a connector from like which way, like LinkedIn or from like which is best to work for you?
Yes, you guys can connect with me on LinkedIn here. I'm going to share the links to the events I just spoke about and to the Tech Hub as well, and their website. Our website, there you can find our events calendar, but then each of the events, I also broke them down. And then if you want to connect with me personally, you can also connect with me here. I'm going to put my LinkedIn here. And if you want to connect with me just via email, my email is here as well. But let me copy it so you guys can have it.
Thank you so much.
I love mentoring, so whatever you guys need, I am an open book, and just reach out to me, and if I can help you, I am going to help you. Okay, who raised their hand? I cannot see.
No, I'm good. I was my mistake.
Oh, okay. Any other questions? I'm excited to see all of the projects that you guys made in cyber, especially because I'm passionate about that. I really like cybersecurity. So good luck to everybody who's presenting today. I'm excited to see that.
Thank you so much for coming, Victoria. It was really beneficial, and I'm sure they really appreciated it. I've actually been a part of South Florida Tech Hub for quite some time, but I have not met you personally, so it was really cool to get to know you now.
Thank
hopefully
you.
I see you at
Yes.
some events. I didn't know that you had that quite extensive background. So very cool.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go to our projects then. Let me get the roster back up. Is there another question?
Yeah, Alyssa, one of my friend, I was invite her come to watch our project, but somehow she couldn't be able to join by click the Google Meet link. Is that possible if you can add her into like invitation or something like that?
Well, the thing is, nobody's really added by invitation. It's just an open meeting. If you want to drop her email, I can try to add her to it.
Oh, I believe I sent you Slack. If you
Okay,
want,
let me see.
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Let me see. Okay, you can tell her to check. Okay, so first up we have Paul with the cybersecurity project.
Okay, can you hear me?
We hear you great.
Okay, one moment to share my screen. So, good evening. My name is Paul Saripanidis. I am 39 years old. I am from Komotini, Greece, and currently a student at 4Geeks Academy. I'm advancing my skills in cybersecurity through a dedicated training program. And as a cybersecurity student, I focus on identifying vulnerabilities and applying industry best practices. This presentation, breaks down how unauthorized access to a server can lead to severe actions such as system exploration, file manipulation, data theft, ransomware deployment, and service disruption. Such breaches can result in serious financial and reputational damage. For example, Marks and Spencer suffered a 300 million pounds profit loss following a cyber attack that disrupted operations for nearly 7 weeks. From my experience so far, I've noticed a common mindset across different workplaces. A common mindset is there are so many people on the planet, it's unlikely that such an incident would affect me personally. Despite growing awareness, many individuals still use weak credentials, underestimating the security risks and the likelihood of being targeted. I believe that cyber attackers are becoming increasingly sophisticated, and at a minimum, we must adopt the following practices to protect our accounts and systems. Of course, in alignment with NIST and ISO 27001 recommendations. Number one, consistently apply strong password policies that meet complexity, length, and unpredictability standards. Number two, enable two-factor authentication wherever available. And number three, ensure that all systems and applications remain up to date with the latest security patches. So what actually happened? A security assessment was carried out on the Debian WordPress server to spot any security gaps. During the assessment, it was discovered that the user successfully logged in as root to the server over SSH from the IP address 192.168.0.134 using a password. This indicated a significant security gap that required immediate attention. Here are the key results from the security assessment. A total of 11 vulnerabilities were identified across critical systems. This included 6 high-risk and 5 medium-risk security issues. And importantly, all vulnerabilities were successfully remediated during, during the assessment period. We identified 6 high-risk vulnerabilities that posed a significant threat to system security. For example, weak system passwords, making it easier for attackers to gain unauthorized access, WordPress admin weak credentials, exposing the site to potential compromise, database weak passwords, increasing the risk of database breaches, SSH root access was enabled, which could allow full system control if exploited, insecure FTP service, exposing data in transit to interception, and mail server weak password, leaving communication systems vulnerable. Additionally, 5 medium-risk issues were found, which could still be exploited under certain conditions. For example, untrusted SSL certificate, reducing the credibility and security of encrypted connections. Outdated Intel Media SDK packages, potentially exposing the system to known exploits. WordPress security issues, including plugin or core vulnerabilities, Apache misconfigurations, which could lead to improper access controls, and multiple vulnerabilities on port 80, increasing exposure through unsecured HTTP. These weaknesses could have allowed attackers to take control of systems, steal sensitive data, or interrupt business activities. This section details the specific steps taken to address identified issues and improve overall system security. We replaced all weak passwords with strong complex credentials. We disabled direct SSH root login and implemented key-based authentication for enhanced security. We created a new secure WordPress admin account to prevent unauthorized access, and we updated database user passwords to meet strong security standards. Also, we removed insecure FTP service and implemented secure SFTP for file transfers. We configured Apache security headers and access controls to reduce exposure to attacks. We updated WordPress core plugins and themes to patch known vulnerabilities, and we removed unnecessary Intel Media SDK packages to minimize potential attack surface. Also, we changed SSH port from default to a non-standard port, for example 2222, to reduce automated attack attempts. We implemented connection limits and timeouts to prevent brute force and idle session abuse. We secured file permissions and directory access to restrict unauthorized changes. And we blocked access to sensitive configuration files to protect critical system settings. Now, this part highlights how our security improvements have reduced risks and protected critical business operations. We prevented potential data breaches by strengthening database security. We eliminated website takeover risks through comprehensive WordPress hardening. We blocked unauthorized system access with improved authentication and access controls. And we secured communications by configuring services with strong security settings. Through the improvements we implemented, significant enhancements have strengthened our security defenses and reduced vulnerability risks. Security level improved from poor to good, reflecting a significant overall enhancement. We achieved a 100% remediation rate for all identified vulnerabilities, and proactive security measures are now in place to prevent future risks and strengthen defenses. These are the tools and the technologies that we used in the analysis. Extero FTK Imager for creating forensic disk images, Autopsy for digital forensic investigation and analysis, Kali Linux is a security testing platform, Nmap for network discovery and vulnerability scanning, Rootkit Hunter to detect rootkits, backdoors and local exploits, Hashcat for password recovery and strength testing, and Nessus Essentials for identifying and assessing system vulnerabilities. Now about the challenges. The whole project was difficult, and when I saw it for the first time, I said, whoa, I can't do it. But with daily research, I kept working and eventually found the solution. So why someone choose a career in cybersecurity? The demand for cybersecurity professionals continues to rise, with 3.5 million unfilled positions globally in 2023. You will have the opportunity to work with cutting-edge technologies, and cybersecurity professionals are essential for protecting organizations from cyber threats. The field offers diverse career paths along with strong job security and growth potential. At this point, I would like to thank my teacher, Kyle Hill, my mentors, Guillermo Costa, Teresa Baker, and 4Geeks Academy for giving me the opportunity to be part of the class. It was a truly valuable experience during which I gained significant knowledge and practical skills. Thank you.
Very nice job, Paul. Thank you. And let me add on
Thank
to
you.
something that I don't think you expressed enough. You said that you're from Greece, but he's actually located in Greece. So he takes this program from like midnight to 3 a.m. your time?
It's 1 a.m. at the moment, yes.
And he did this the whole program and still succeeded. So that's a huge, huge challenge and something that you overcame and never even complained about. Like, just took it like it was second nature. So really nice job. That's amazing.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I have a quick question. Yeah, I have a quick question for Paul, actually. Do you know if it's common for the Debian WordPress servers to get breached like that?
It can be common because, like I said before, people are think that someone can attack them, for example, and I still have people at my work that use weak credentials, like their first name and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, for example. So it's a common mistake. Yes, I believe that someone, if he don't follow strong security credentials criteria, for example, someone can make an attack. Yes, it's like having an open window in your house, for example.
Thank you.
Good analogy. Any other questions? All right. Well, very cool, and congratulations, Paul.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we'll go to the next project, which is also a cybersecurity project with Mohamed.
Hello everybody. Can you guys hear me fine?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. All right, 1 second. Oh, it says I need permission to screen share. One sec.
You're still getting that message?
Yeah, I'm trying again now.
It's okay. This happens to the best of us, and it'll happen again. All good.
It's all right. It's
I
all
was gonna say that too. So many times.
right. Can you guys see it fine?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So my project, it was the same project that Paul and I worked on, which was that we were provided with a Debian-based machine that was meant to stimulate a real-world server that was compromised, and we were tasked with running a full security audit on it. And we were meant to follow a three-phase structure. The first one being a forensic analysis and doing the hack correction, so it focused on identifying and cutting off any active attacks. The second was scanning for vulnerabilities and fixing them before someone had a chance to exploit them. And the third one was doing an incident response, figuring out what a long-term response and plan could be to prevent possible attacks. All right. So for the first phase that we had, which was identifying the exploited vulnerabilities, it was confirmed that there was a full sudo access exploit where they had root access. So that means they had pretty much top tier, no type of no privileges or like no obstacles that they had to pretty much do whatever they wanted in the system. They had complete access of everything. And the interesting thing is, I know you guys can't really read that. I just wanted to show you the red on top. That was the same user that didn't have access, and then just a little bit later, they were able to gain access through SSH, which was remote um, remote credentials, pretty much. But they used a password when usually you're supposed to have an encryption key, a private and a public key, where after your IP address has been authorized, then you can log in remotely. That was not set up, so someone who simply had the password to the system was able to do it from a remote computer with no problems at all. All right. So, and then when we were detecting different vulnerabilities, sorry. Some of the ones that we found were FTP misconfigurations where there was anonymous access allowed and write enabled, so anybody with pretty much any type of credentials would be able to log in, change anything in the system. MySQL accounts had either passwords that were the same for different accounts, some had very weak passwords, and some had no passwords at all. And the Apache index listings, which expose sensitive files. And to me, that will always be the funniest vulnerability of them all because it didn't show up on my scan the first time. And after I was pretty much done, my machine crashed. So I had to, and it corrupted. So I had to do the whole thing all over again. And when I scanned it the second time, the vulnerability had just been announced by Apache like a day before. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool that I didn't have to deal with it the first time, but I had more work to do the second time. And then the third phase, which were the strategic lessons that we learned, which were forensic thinking, incident handling, risk mitigation, and compliance frameworks like NIST and ISO frameworks. Those helped us be able to organize pretty much the systems, make it very organized, have different layers of protection, and if there had been any attacks, any vulnerabilities that were exploited, then there would be different layers for an attacker to go through. And hopefully, with the right plans and with the right team, the attacker would be noticed before they would be able to do any actual damage. All right, so I wanted to kind of give an idea on a real world application, which I have a program that I was working on with a team a while back, which is called QuickSeg. It's just a segmentation tool for brain PET scans that were designed to help researchers with brain glucose levels, and it includes a lot of machine and deep learning, clustering, and atlas segmentation algorithms, a lot of different layers of things. It was built to be modular and extendable, robust. Not once did we think about security when it came to it. And now that I know everything that I have learned from this course, I can't believe that that wasn't something that we had thought of, because healthcare data, as we've probably seen on the news multiple times, it's a very high value target for attackers, either in terms of information or in terms of money. And this can pretty much be applied to any field if they attack the right person or the right company. An example in this case would be DICOM metadata. DICOM are just the digital imaging and communications in medicine images that are scanned. And in the headers, they would usually have personal patient info like date of birth, IDs, names, pretty much a bunch of different things. And attackers can easily extract that data from unsecured archives or during transfers between one system to another or one stage to the other. And then the other one would be attackers poisoning training data to alter the model predictions to either make someone who's unhealthy seem like they are, or the opposite. And messing with that model pretty much messes with all the results used following that model. And some possible solutions would be to auto strip the metadata as it's getting uploaded, or encrypt images at rest and in transit between different layers. This is kind of similar to, or the model poisoning is when the attackers want to uh, give inaccurate results from the models used, and using data hashes, or pretty much having the models monitored all the time. That would be a great first step to kind of catch an attacker before they're able to do any actual damage, or for the model to be actually used. And that's very similar to the general log that we had in MySQL, where we questioned a user to have some type of to be an attacker, but we didn't have any solid proof. So in a real world scenario, we can't just kick anybody out of the system who we just kind of think that they're bad, but we don't really have any proof of it. And the general log monitoring was off. So there was no way for us to go back and kind of check what they were doing. Turning it on from now on, we can check it, but then having it turned on from the get go would kind of help us avoid being in a situation where we kind of doubt someone is bad, but we can't really do anything about it yet. And then isolating the any type of study that you're doing in a sandbox environment, where there is, as you're doing the study, as you're doing the experiment, nothing can kind of come in through the network. It's completely sealed, and with the proper monitoring and the proper layers of protection, then those would be things that would be able to help the system and the data stay safe. And that again is something that now I realize is crazy, that I never thought about earlier on, me or any of the other people I was with. And some challenges that we had were moments of hopelessness, I would say, or moments of feeling absolutely stupid, where we just didn't know what we were doing, or if I did something that I shouldn't have done, or if I did something that took me 5 hours and I realized it needed 2 minutes, or like I mentioned, when my machine crashed and corrupted. And I guess I just thought that this would be something that we could all relate to and kind of take a moment to appreciate how far we've come. Thank you.
Yay, very nice job as well. Do we have any questions? No questions?
I will ask, what was your favorite part of this project?
Probably, I would probably say either the going through the MySQL data. That was when we were able to see, I guess, in a very clear way, what users had, like they had the similar passwords in the WordPress server, or the weak ones or no passwords, and kind of just going into those accounts separately and kind of like stalking them a little bit in a way to figure out what they were doing in the system before. And ironically enough, having to do everything again, and obviously because I had just done it a few days before, after I had to redo everything, I did it pretty fast, obviously. So that, I guess, was a bit of an ego boost. Cause
Nice.
yeah.
Awesome. So sounds like forensics is something you would really like in this field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
That was kind of going to be my question for both of you. What did you guys think about cybersecurity as a profession? Did you like the course? Is this a career that you guys are adamantly going to pursue?
Yes, God willing, absolutely.
Yes.
Awesome. That's cool. I always thought it looked very interesting. When I took a program here, I actually took the data science one because I'm a math and numbers person, but I always thought the cybersecurity looked very interesting. All right. Well, thank you. So with that, we can move into the next project, which we have Squad Up with Juan and Darius.
Let me see. All right. I might need a few more minutes just to finish setting something up really quick. So I might need to go after the next group.
Okay, no problem. We can go to the next group. Nicholas, you ready?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
All right, let me see if do I have permission to do this? Looks like it so far. And everybody see the title slide on that deck?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everybody. For my project for the data science and machine learning cohort, I got an idea from a friend who is in academia and suggested that I start looking into judicial vacancies. Presentation-wise, I'd like to try and remind myself to keep things simple. So you're going to see a balance of art and words on these slides. I'll try not to talk too much, but I'm also going to, if you don't mind me, setting up a timer for myself, try to remind myself to keep it reasonably brief as well. Here we go. And if anybody here is not familiar with the classic internet bongo cat, you're going to be seeing quite a few of them. To explain why this is even a problem worth thinking about, the way that my friend explained it to me is that federal judicial vacancies in the U.S. tend to affect everybody, either directly or indirectly. When there is a seat that goes vacant for whatever reason, whether it's because that judge had a lifetime appointment and lost their job the way that everybody eventually does, or they got out of that seat because they got promoted, or they decided to retire or move into private practice, one way or the other, if a seat goes vacant, then court cases in that court tend to get backlogged. And those court cases could be a whole lot of different things. In the case of civil cases, you're talking about things like business law or contract disputes, things that can affect business practices and whether or not fraudsters are brought to justice, or whether or not businesses get to proceed onwards with whatever it is that they're arguing over. In the case of criminal cases, that's not just whether or not somebody goes to jail. It can even be just them sitting incarcerated waiting for their sentence, and they may or may not even be found guilty with it. And then there's yet more different laws in either of those categories: immigration law, family law. Overall, it's a whole bunch of different court case types, either at the not just the Supreme Court level that we hear about in the news, but also at the circuit court level and district level. So when there's that much going on, and people are trying to get their court cases tried sooner rather than later, they end up shopping around a little bit for districts where it seems like things are moving faster, and that just seems to stack things up on the judges who are there even further. And that kind of judge burnout effect can lead to them wanting to retire or move into private practice even earlier, which just perpetuates the problem. It's just a downward spiral that doesn't really help anybody. So in general, it would help to try and figure out what it is that is slowing down this whole nomination process to get vacant seats filled again, and figure out if there's a way of predicting how long the process is going to take. As a reminder for anybody who hasn't heard it in a while, in general, when a judge stops judging, the president is the one who nominates the next person who could get appointed into that job. The Senate is the body that either confirms them or returns the nomination to the president, and then hopefully, eventually, the nomination gets confirmed. Now, there was a time when, some number of decades ago, this whole process could take only a few days, but in general, the trend has been for it to be significantly longer. There are some analysts who are saying that it's starting to trend a little bit faster again, but it hasn't been long enough of that to really confirm that or explain why, or whether it's just statistical noise because of how recently that effect may be starting. To try and analyze this, the friend of mine who inspired me to start this whole project pointed me towards the data source on the left bubble here, the Administrative Office of the U.S. Courts. They have what they are calling emergency vacancy lists of where the seats are vacant and how much of a backlog of court cases there are there, as well as if there is a nominee who's been named just yet, who that person is, or if there's no nominee at all, just a listing that there isn't one, and a list of who was in that seat beforehand. That doesn't really tell us a whole lot about that scenario other than the court case backlog. So in hunting around for other data sources, I ended up finding two others. The Federal Judicial Center has a much more thorough and much more neatly organized set of data on the judges themselves. We're talking not just names, we're talking their entire job history, where they got their multiple degrees from, what seats they've been in, down to very specific seat ID numbers. They have a ton, but they only have it on judges. If you're asking about people who got nominated but did not get the job, for that you're going to have to go elsewhere. And so elsewhere can include Congress, who thankfully now maintains a reasonably well-documented API to be able to collect Senate records. And they know all about their own nomination process. They have the dates that they received the nomination from the president. They have exactly how many hearings that they did in order to try and make a decision. They have that kind of information on people who were nominated, but then the nomination got returned. But if you want information on the judges themselves and what made them more or less qualified to get their job, Congress alone is not going to be able to tell you that. So this project was about mashing all three of these together, despite the fact that the three different types of information sources are very much focused on their own little niche. And the AOUSC is keeping track of where the emergencies are. The FJC is able to tell us what the judges themselves are like, and the Senate is busy focusing on themselves. So in general, the more of this data you have, the better model you can try and train with machine learning to be able to predict how long these vacancies are going to be. And as much as I would love to say that this project got as far as being able to incorporate all three, the data from the AOUSC is significantly messier, and trying to incorporate that could be a machine learning project in and of itself. I can get more into that if you want to ask later. So with the two sources that I was able to make use of, these are the tools that I used. I am more than happy to talk about what I did or didn't like about these if anybody has questions. But it's a pretty typical sounding sequence of Python notebooks to be able to download the data, clean the data, explore what the data is containing, and what's worth feeding into a popular machine learning training pipeline before finally being able to have it deliver predictions. Meaning, if you specify to it, I want to know what the chances are that a judge whose characteristics are like XYZ is going to be confirmed in this many days versus this many days, that the system can tell you that. Now, even just to be able to train the model with that whole tool chain, like the technology itself is I mean, I'm not going to say it's completely trivial, but in a sense, I always thought of that as the easy part. The more challenging part to me has been trying to notice when you're using the data wrong, which is where I was so thankful that Samir and 4Geeks were teaching me about things that I should consider when cleaning and analyzing and manipulating data, because it is very easy to make careless mistakes if you're not paying attention. This diagram here shows what should be a pretty intuitive case of if you apply to a job and you are not qualified for the job, you are not going to get that job. If you come back and are significantly more qualified, one would hope that that makes you more likely to get the job. But if you have tables of info of applicants and job openings, and when you are lining them up from different data sources and realizing, oh, person in this table is the same as person in that table, I can surely merge all that data over into the other table, right? Not necessarily, because that can end up making you record things as though it's the same person with all the same experience applying to the job that much longer ago. And that's not what actually happened. So feeding that mashed together data into a machine learning training model is going to make it wrong. In general, finding things like that and trying to figure out how do you then merge data, if not very simply on a name match or a numeric identifier for judge, is just one of the more obvious data engineering challenges that I ended up having a whole lot of fun trying to figure out over the course of this project. Now, by this point, the machine learning training takes about 2 hours and 12 minutes to get mean absolute error of a little under 40 days with an R2 score, a sort of explanation as to how well the model accounts for variance. In the close to 60s, not quite. I'm hoping that I can, through a combination of tuning or cleaning the data even further or adding yet more data, be able to boost these accuracies even further. Simply dropping the Supreme Court from the data fed into the model made it this much more accurate in the course of just 2 days, because the Supreme Court, they tend to be unicorns. They are very special. Their whole process is different and unusual, and there's not many of them versus the number of circuit courts and district court judges who we can feed data from in order to train a machine learning model. In terms of how much further this project could go, there are 2 different ways that I can imagine getting some of the data from the AOUSC. Either of these would allow you to measure or predict with the machine learning model, not just the amount of time from the nomination to confirmation, but actually from when the seat got vacant to confirmation, which can be also interesting because for whatever reason, you would think that if you're the president and you have the power to appoint somebody for life, that you would be in kind of a hurry to do so and pick somebody who more or less agrees with the way that you do things. But for reasons that aren't necessarily fully explained, that's been getting longer too. And the friend who told me about this project was recommending trying to look into that. Either of these is a valid way to try and get the data necessary to make a prediction like that happen. The project so far does not accomplish that. In terms of advice for colleagues or just people in life in general, I'd say that I know AI-based coding assist tools are getting super popular, and you will occasionally hear advice on the internet about how doing really counterintuitive things like berating them seems to get them to give you answers faster, and with some claims that it can make it think more or be more effective. I found the opposite to be the case. In general, I think being polite tends to make things more effective, whether your coworker is a person or not. And that is nearing the end of my talk and nearing the point where I get to start showing the web front end for this whole project. Brief thank you slide for the people or systems that helped me put this together. And I can switch screen shares to be able to show the web app front end for this. One moment, please. Okay. So, in general, the web front end here is not going to be nearly as impressive as either the other projects that you're going to see described later on in this meeting. It's just enough to be able to show that there are kind of a lot of different parameters that this model can take in, ranging from the American Bar Association's rating of whether or not the candidate is qualified or not, to whether or not it's the first session versus second session of any given Congress. Because of just how many parameters there are and trying to link all of the ones on the web front end to the model, I frankly haven't gotten around to connecting all of these in a very intuitive manner so far. So for instance, if the state that the candidate was born in is encoded numerically in the model, I haven't necessarily gotten it to a point where the web front end is going to list it as a dropdown. It may still be numeric on here, but at least with the ones that are connected properly, and intuitively presented, you can end up getting a mix of either very, very intuitive or somewhat surprising results. Like for instance, if I take this candidate who the American Bar Association says is qualified, then given this training model, because you can, if you've trained multiple different times or different ways, select with that drop down. If given all these parameters, it says that it's going to take 104 days to get that that nominee confirmed. If I then change that to a not qualified candidate, one would hope that it would take longer or never happen. And rather than 104 days, we're seeing the model is saying it takes 150 days. If I go to a completely different slide, if I take somebody who has gotten 4 degrees in their lifetime, combination of undergrad or higher level degrees, then haven't made any changes, so it's still the same 150. Whereas if they just plain have fewer degrees, then it's going to take a handful of days longer than that. So all of this is a web front end on whichever model you decide to choose, all of which gets saved in the last of a handful of Jupyter notebooks, where the Jupyter notebooks themselves can also tell you a fair amount more of the performance statistics, so like the mean average error or the R2 scores of this model versus a prior one that I trained. And with some amount of visualizations over how closely, to summarize this, the closer to the red line is better. How well the tune model does versus one that is untuned and so forth. Does anybody have any questions?
Not not a question, but I just want to really highlight, how your project is really unique and how you actually used your personal network to, speak to people and go and find the idea for this. And I think that's really good that, the rest of you guys, as you proceed and maybe want to work on future projects of your own. I think that's a really great way to do it is, find problems around you. And if you can't really find problems around you, reach out to your network. Maybe you know somebody who's got a really interesting job. You could arrange to meet them for a coffee one day and just say, tell me about your job. Tell me what kind of problems you have at your job. And, you'll come up with some really great ideas on things to work on and on real life, real business problems to solve. So
That's very true. I second that. I've been here for a while, and some of the best projects that I see are ones that solve real pain points in real people's lives. So very cool. Any other questions or comments for Nicholas? Go right ahead.
Nicholas, do you plan to use that application for something else in the future, or is just for the presentation and the certification only?
That depends very much on the friend who inspired me to do this project in the first place, because she made it sound as though the people that she worked with had worked on a predecessor to this before, that had data ranging from the Reagan era to about 2 or 3 administrations ago. And plan A had been to basically take a bunch of grant money and feed it to a bunch of grad students who may or may not have understood enough about data science or APIs to be able to scrape the data from existing data sources. They very well may have just gone to the AOUSC's website and painstakingly punched in a whole bunch of stuff into an Excel spreadsheet by hand. My hope is that by showing off that this is a thing, that it's going to make that whole project a whole lot better, and we'll see where that goes. I'm going to have to talk with her about it, but fair question.
And Nicholas, I know you're here in Miami, right? Because I saw you at the ByteCon
yes.
event that was on our campus. There's a lot of opportunities here in Miami for startups. Very similar. I mean, South Florida Tech Hub, who Victoria is here from, posts a lot of these type events. And there's also another one called Refresh Miami, when they post a lot of these events. If you've seen the TV show Shark Tank, they have events like this where they have investors and you pitch your idea. So there's many opportunities for you to bring it to life if that's really what you want to do. Any other questions? Comments?
Thank you again.
And nice memes.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right. So should we go to squad up? Are you guys ready?
Yeah, we're good to go.
All right. Take it away.
All right. So we are squad up. Let me get my screen shared, actually. Get the presentation here. Screen isn't. Okay. And can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right, perfect. All right, so as mentioned, we are squad up. So my name is Darius. I've been sort of in tech for the past maybe, say probably about 14 years or so, but working more on the support side. So this was a new jump, switching over to the back end with coding. So that's a little bit about me, and I'll let Juan go ahead and introduce himself as well.
Hey, how's everybody doing? My name is Juan. I work here on this project here with Darius. When it comes to programming, nothing much. Started from Hello World right here in this repo, but I did spend a lot of sleepless nights studying and looking up at technology. I'm very, very interested in the design aspect of things, so that's why I like to bring a bit of posh and tosh into my work and projects. But besides that, yeah, I'm pretty green. I just knew a couple of things before, but haven't really made anything yet. And I work mostly in the healthcare division with data. So this is what we were able to do. Hopefully everyone enjoys it.
Yep. So that's a little bit about us. So just going through the table of contents with everyone. So we're just going to go through a summary of the project. You've already been introduced to the team. We'll give you sort of the process on the brainstorming process of how we arrived to this specific project and the process of making it. Give you guys a nice little preview of our beloved little application, and then just go through some of the challenges that we had, and then some of the features that you guys can stay tuned for. So jumping into it, not so much of a funny moment for me, but more of just memorable and like a really nice, like, here we are moment for me. Like I said, I been in tech for about 13, 14 years. I do a little bit in, not so much in coding, but working mostly with like SQL, database management, things like that. and always kind of wanted to get into coding. So it's kind of been sort of a dream of mine. So just getting into it and getting my hands dirty and actually coming up with something that worked was just a beautiful thing. So I kind of felt like, what was his name? I can't think of the guy's name now, the one that snaps his finger, the Marvel movie. But it was just kind of like that. Like I have the power in my hand. So it just felt like really powerful. And it was beautiful to create something with my own hands and see it come to life and actually functioning. So that was a beautiful moment for me in the entire process in the cohort. So I really enjoyed the experience and just happy with where my growth so far and really looking to continue. And I'll let Juan go ahead and go through his moment.
Yeah, so I mean, I did a lot of some backend integration here in this project. It gave me a lot of headaches. So I definitely learned a lot, especially when it comes to pipelines and the issues that do come as things scale and as you add features. But what I put here is a funny moment. Is originally we wanted to do another main stock idea, making an app so you can trade another meme coin and then invest that. Another one was we wanted to invest based on fast food, so depending on how many sales. But we wanted to make something that actually would be useful, something exciting, something fun. So this is why we had that change of heart, and we decided to do something that we both enjoyed, and we had a lot of fun doing it too. We learned a lot, definitely. So hopefully it shows.
Yep, it's been a great time. And so what we did, so just sort of an intro to our application, Squad Up. So Squad Up is the name of our web app that we came up with. What we did and why we chose it. So it was a pretty interesting process. I'll let I guess Juan explain a little bit more about the brainstorming process when we were trying to come up with an idea and everything. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, so we chose Squad Up. Basically, we were finding out that our cohort instructor Ray, he said, I really recommend doing something that you guys will put passion into it, to make, I don't know, another tax accountant application, another invoice app that you might not really be into it, because then you will not put as much effort. And definitely it is true. You definitely want to do something that both enjoy and you can see yourself even using. The gist of this application or web app would be, it will connect to Steam, get all your Steam games in that account, and then other users log in, get their Steam games, and then you can make a group, and in that group you can go ahead and it will show everyone's Steam games, and then you can choose and vote on one. And the reason for this is mainly because deciding what to play can be complicated. You have to get on a call, see what everyone has. Do you have this game? Do you have that one? What are we going to play today? And this application lets you see what everyone has already, and then lets you vote, and the winner vote is the game that you're going to play. That's the elevator pitch right there.
Yeah. So sort of a easy breakdown is kind of like sync, play, vote. So syncing your specifically Steam games. So the app integrates with Steam, which you guys will be able to see kind of how that works. Integrates with Steam, you'll be able to sync. Vote on the game that you want to play, and then go ahead and squad up.
That's right.
All right. And here we go. So I think, Juan, you can go ahead and take it from here.
Yeah. So, there's a section here for important facts. This would definitely benefit more data science and anything to do with more structural components. It's a little complicated to find specific data on why this project was chosen, since we're a full stack. More or less, the data that we went on, or at least the idea, is a pain point and friction along the route of deciding what to play, how gamers usually choose something to play, and sometimes they spend more time thinking what to play than actually playing. So we wanted to bridge that gap and get them playing faster. by alleviating the deciding factor out of them. And sometimes you don't even know what you want to play, and you wanted to leave it to a little bit of luck and see, hey, let's just throw a couple votes in there and see who wins, who decides the most, and then go with that idea. So as you can see, it is displayed as the picture shows, and I think it's a website that offers a decent service, and it has a utility, and hopefully it does remove the friction and pain point of getting players gaming rather than thinking. So this would be the process of making it, which is a tech stack. So this is basically what we call the pipeline. It had to be developed and it had to be thought of. I integrated definitely a couple more things on the route, but we definitely want a Steam integration, then a squad formation, which is a group, then a game discovery engine, which is the core of basically the full stack application, a voting system, which sounds very simple, but I quickly realized it's very complicated to get two users at the same time doing one thing and getting that information all synced, mostly because of the complications behind the actual technicalities. But yeah, and then after that, it's just a testing integration, which is another component that we have to do in order to make sure that it runs. So the tech stack would be for the front end, just for the boilerplate, React, JavaScript. Now I went ahead and chose Tailwind, which I'm not sure if other people did, but Tailwind is like CSS and Bootstrap. It allows me to do and control the way the website looks and feels, and it gives me that control over that. And then CSS is the one that chains it all together, and GSAP is what gives me 3D animation effects. And then the backend is Python and Flask, which comes standard with the boilerplate. And then SQL Alchemy is just the way you communicate to the database and the API. So go ahead, Darius. All right. So this is the part where we go ahead and we'll display how the website is. This is the demo. So now we're leaving the pit and we're getting right into the race.
All right. So let me just pull up the demo here, just a sec. This running, just gonna take a second.
Yes, we wait. This, what you're looking at right here is a step. I made a front end quick and dirty way for anyone that doesn't want to sync their Steam or they're a little worried about what the application does. I gave them a demo page so they can just click and see live without having to do any of the backend or logging in or making an account, removing as many frictions as possible for the end user to just see a quick display of what the app will do for them and the services that it will provide. And that way you don't even have to create any sort of accounts, and it just integrates. And also the Steam communication section is pretty simple. So hopefully that shows.
All right, so jumping into the demo, let me just move this over here. We're just gonna start from the landing page. So this is our app. So this is Squad Up. So this is the landing page that our users will experience when they first reach the Squad Up app. So super responsive, lots of animations. We have the particles in the background working. And like I said, super responsive. So the inspiration sort of came from Discord initially. So we took a little bit of inspiration from Discord and Discord's website, and wanted to implement something that had like a really nice gaming look. So from the moment you're reaching our app, you're already kind of like in a kind of gaming mode, because what gamers don't love animations. So like I mentioned, super responsive, really fun, really cool animations. If we go here into our demo section, which Juan briefly mentioned, just to increase our conversion rate. So when a user initially comes to the website, they may not always want to jump into it because like, what the heck is this app? What does it do? So our demo kind of gives you a walkthrough of what it does. So mock Steam login. So you would connect your Steam. Once you're connected, it's able to display your games. Beautiful. Then you can sync your squad library. So basically, all the games that you have in your Steam library, it's going to display on your profile, and find games in common with your friends that are in your squad. So you can send invitations to your friends, and then from there, vote and play. So let's see. Do it this way. Jump to the sign up. So okay. Get to the profile, I guess. I'm already signed in, so
Yeah.
There's a sign up process, pretty simple. It takes an email, username, and password for initial sign up process, and then it jumps you straight into our dashboard. But here, once you're signed in, you can set up your profile. So on the profile is one of the spots where you can connect your Steam profile. Mine is already connected at the moment. We have a button over here to sync your games. My game's already synced, so if I hit it, it's gonna let me know. Okay, yeah, added 3 games, cool. And then we're able to adjust our bio. So if we wanted to add something about ourselves in our bio, we can do that. Change our avatar. So this is just something you can.
For the image.
Sorry.
The image under.
Yeah.
Info. So if you change it in Steam, it will sync also that.
Yeah. Also, for your profile, this kind of touches on one of the future updates we want to make, the genres. So one of the future updates that we're looking to do is make more of a community around the application. So being able to find games in common with people in the community by selecting favorite genres, and then also your gaming style. So if I want, I can actually go ahead and jump into my library. This will show me the games that I currently have in my Steam profile. So this is real time. So if I were to add a game right now to my Steam profile, I could hit sync, and it's gonna pull it up with beautiful animations again, and the image for the game. So that's basically the initial launch, the initial page, and into the profile. So the next part of our app is the dashboard, which is where we get to the fun stuff. All right, and Juan, I think you can take it from there, the dashboard.
Yeah. So okay. So since you're presenting, do you have a group already created?
Yeah, we have some groups here.
Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that one. Now I see 2 members. So if you want, you can click on this. You can, if you want to show them with another profile logged in, if you want, but it should be fine. You can probably do the voting right there as well.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and plug them through.
Yeah. So initially, I'll just take a step back. So the way the flow works is you would start a group. So we can create a new group. I already have a group here with 2 members.
Yes.
So if you have a friend that's basically using the app already, you could actually join the group using an invitation code. So we have options for, actually, I'll show you here. So when we create a new group, call them Fun Gamers.
Right.
Once the group is created, you have the option over here of using a button for WhatsApp. This will basically take you to WhatsApp web, and copy an invitation code that you can send to your friends through WhatsApp. And then the same for Discord, or you can just simply copy the invite code and send it to your friends however you want. They would just take that code and paste it into here, the join group section, and then that'll pop them into the group where they can sync their games up and then vote. So since we already have one here, the cool kids, we're going to jump in with the rest of the cool kids. So I already have another user in the group, so I'm just going to select a few games. Some of the popular ones, let's say PUBG. Everybody loves PUBG. Stumble Guys and Walking Dead is always fun. So since I already have more than one person in the group, I can go ahead and submit a vote. I think my other users already voted, so I'm going to go ahead and submit my vote.
Okay. There it is.
Okay, not yet. So let me jump over to my other profile, and I will send a vote over there. It's going to take a second. Wow. Dashboard. Yeah, so at least having more than one person in the group, obviously, is going to be how this works. So vote submitted. Check. Okay, I think that was actually on the same profile.
Oh yeah, when I did it, you just log in with 2 and then it'll fill up.
Yeah, let me just log in. Just gonna log in really quick with the other profile. I got kicked out.
If you need one, I have one, but yeah. But yeah, while he's doing that, I just want to let everyone know, this is a bit more complicated than it sounds in the back end, but you can get it working. And then when the players are there together, let you know, hey, this person are in the group, they're live. And then when everyone votes, then it goes ahead and displays you like our results there. So if someone else were to vote PUBG, it'll pop up first. Or if 2 people voted The Walking Dead will be first. And it goes based on a voting system. So gold, silver, and then bronze for the top 3 games that were voted. And then the most common one will be on the top. The voting poll from the games, if you probably didn't notice, but where you were selecting the games, it tells you, hey, 80% of the people or 100% of the people in this group have this game in common. That was the main feature. And then if someone were to not have that game, or 2 people have that game out of like 4, then it'll say 50%. And if only 1 person has the game, it'll let you know as well with 25%. Or it also has a color coding. For green would be most people have this game. Yellow means average people, more or less half will have it. And then red means very few people out of the group will have that game in common.
Yep. So I just submitted the vote. See, I think I got kicked out of my profile here.
Yeah, because you already, you see how, just try to get on the group again at the same time.
Yeah, so basically it didn't pop up here, but the page that would display basically after voting happens, this is what you'll get. So
yeah, the other one got timed out because it took too long. If you do it at the same time, it'll display like that. But yeah,
the other one got timed out. But this is the winner page. So again, based off the games that you have in your profile, if you're selecting games in common, the system is gonna randomize whichever games you have in common, and you can then squad it from there, and that'll be the game you guys will play.
That is correct. So before we, I guess, you can see the bottom all the results and everything. But before we go ahead and move on with the rest of the presentation, go ahead and click on friends just to give them more or less what the idea would be behind the community. You see it in the napper? No, on the napper next to it where it says friends.
Okay.
See if it works. So this will be more or less a quick mock-up of what the upcoming features will be. We wanted to have a community center where you can invite a group, where you can also message and say, hey, you down to play. and they'll be able to go ahead and from there also at the component for Discord, so that way they can go ahead and communicate there. But that would be more or less the expansion behind building a community for people to also find active groups later on. That would be nice, so they can go ahead and just find people playing common games and things. And Steam does offer API functionality for that, which can be implemented. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the gist of the web app. Work really hard on creating it, and hopefully, it's up to liking. So we can go ahead and move back now to the presentation. And that was our demo section.
Yep.
All right, so the pit stop in issues and challenges. Working with this repository, especially with cores, it gave me a lot of love and affection in regards to rate limiting. There was a couple of ways to integrate it. I don't want to get too technical. The spooling, socketing, all of these will cause hundreds of live data packages, and it would just fry the computer and send a bill to 4 gigs to pay for a new laptop at GitHub Station. We couldn't do that, and I tried it, and then it didn't work. It burned the laptop. It crashed. So I did it this way, where is using SQL data and also using just SSE, which is a security protocol that sends direct information without using too many resources, but still maintaining a live functionality. I took that a bit from Twitch. Twitch has a live polling system where players can see 30,000 people vote, and it will account every single one of them. I discovered and researched into how Twitch is able to have thousands of channels making thousands of polls with 10,000s of people. And there's a very nice way of doing that. There's also some sockets that you can add and a couple of integrations that you can put in there that also facilitate that. So probably we'll expand to that. But as of now, we have a model integration, full authentication, everything is protected, everything is secure. Even the polling and even the voting is SSE, so which means it's protected. People can just jump in the middle of one. And another complicated aspect was testing and edge cases. There's a lot of them. Sometimes in the early revisions of the voting, I had it so that people couldn't really leave the voting. And then when that happens, or you couldn't leave a group, but someone deletes the group, then it will leave everyone they're hanging in an empty void. I had to work around that. So as you start building your pipeline, you start finding out edge cases as they come and then iterating on that. So an edge case is basically just a situation that you weren't accounting for. There's also race conditions, which is multiple system trying to get data from one specific part or component or API at the same time and causing issues. So you have to add syncings, and then you have to add delays and timers and a lot of rate limiting to get on that course. So that was the fun part here of finding out how to basically build this. But it was a very good learning experience. I think having something complete and something that goes from basically beginning to end in terms of its functionality, it's very exciting, and you do learn a lot, and it teaches you especially how to integrate and think about really what you're trying to achieve and making it simpler, which without overcomplicating it, which happened to me a lot at first. But yeah, I'm not sure if Darius wants to add anything here in this section.
So definitely I had a lot of fun with authentication. That initial authentication was one that was killing me in the beginning. So getting the authentication to work, and then the constant 429 errors with making too many calls without getting too technical. The system was just doing a lot of verifications and basically timing out the login session and kicking me out. So that was probably one of the really fun parts, aside from getting the whole Steam integration, which was also a lot of fun. But that basically brings us to the end of our presentation. So again, we thank everybody for their time. And we also had a lot of fun building this. We hope that you guys enjoyed the presentation and what we presented to you guys. And we're open to taking any questions.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right.
Sure. Junsu?
Oh yeah, awesome! This is amazing. Like at the bootcamp project, this is really amazing. So I have a couple of questions because it looks really interesting. So first thing, like, did you guys get actually integrated with Steam, like to integrate it and pull down all the profile images and all the live game library?
You want me to answer that, Darius?
Yeah, you can answer it.
Yeah, so Steam integration is the core aspect of this. Is live. It's happening live. If you were to change the profile image in your Steam, it'll fetch that. That is our API. That's the API that we use for this full stack app. API is basically the way my web app gets information from another database or source, and it is live. If you were to add more games to your Steam profile, it'll communicate with the updated information and send it back and sync and let you know, hey, this has been updated, these are the changes, and then it sends that back into the front where it renders. Right there, you're seeing it. But yes, this is a full live Steam integration. It is connected via your Steam ID. There's also another way of doing it via logging in. Both can be applied pretty simply. The only complication is making your database structure, and also Steam requires, which is a complicated part. Maybe other APIs didn't have this, but Steam requires authentication on their own. They don't want to send data over that is not protected. So you do have to think about how to send and receive the data that is also protected on top of the already authentication that needs to happen with your user account, the protected sections.
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine that whenever you try to integrate, like to fetch the data from like some big third parties, it's always kind of difficult. I respect that. The other thing I would like to ask is, I saw there is a sync up button, but at the same time, the app also said this update automatically. So I wondered, is this always up to date? Do you have something like cron job running in the background, fetching it at a certain time?
The sync automatic is a timer that you can put, and it runs on a cycle. I couldn't have it automatic every single second because it quickly made thousands of requests, but it is on a timer. Yeah. Usually the timer is very lenient with especially with GitHub code spaces. I did it about, I would say, 1 to 5 syncs. So the way it works, it would go ahead and do and check the last sync, do a countdown timer, and usually I would do it about every minute or so. But if I also added another parameter where if that were to get too intense for the specific course code spaces or the environment that it's on, it would also have a fallback where it stops doing the auto and it just lets you manual if the server is overloaded or is nearing overloaded. So it does have fallback conditions. So it will automatically do it, but let's say there's 100 people trying to sync at the same time. It will account and understand that the server is getting overloaded, and it will put the fallback parameters, which is stopping that and then making it like every 5 to 10 minutes for each user. But yes, that is there. There is a way for you to also check a timer. You can add a component that just checks last time check or your last time the Steam was checked, and then it'll have a line going down into the next time that you can sync. But yes, the auto is there. It does have the parameter to make sure that it doesn't overload.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, I would like to say like, hey, maybe we can have something like a cron job running every night, like a 12, 11 p.m. and then push them to Kafka queues and let them just process to avoid like overloaded.
You can do you will have to do a condition where it syncs. The only thing that can cause a race condition, if you put 12 a.m., you have to, there is a hook that you can add, not a hook, but like an import that you can add at the top, installing a package that syncs everyone's time to your server time. So let's say someone in Singapore is like 5 a.m. and in my time is 1 a.m. If I have my server up, everyone's out of sync at 12 a.m., it'll cause issues. But there is ways to convert the timer for everyone so that way it auto syncs at the same time. That can also be applied.
Yeah, but this won't affect a user playing on like a Steam, right? It's just a background running on your server. So I think if you just use your server time, it'll be fine. It'll be a queue. They just run you one by one, push one by one, and then until they finish. Yeah.
You can, yeah. I used like to have fallbacks just to to maintain edge cases, because I did run through some where basically when I was doing testing, people could click the auto sync button very quickly.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so I had to add a lot of parameters to that. And that was actually the part that loaded the server the most out of everything. It was loading that information directly from Steam. But it was exciting to figure out the best approach for that.
Yeah,
WebSocket, SSE, or polling, it's a lot.
this is already like really amazing at the moment already. Yeah, so you have the sync up button. I mean, you can display something like a last updated at whatever time, and if they want sync up, manually do it.
Yeah, so I added the sync button because you know how gamers get excited and they add a new game to their library and they want to see it right there. They're like, hey, I don't want to wait till 12 a.m. I want that now.
Yeah, exactly.
And have that functionality. I don't want to have gamers wait until 12 a.m. to have their thing display or on a timer. So I gave them that choice as well because I think they will get excited to see it.
Yeah, it's basically depends on the server size. Like if you have enough loading side, you can sync up every minute as you want. But this is amazing. Appreciate the answers.
Of course, absolutely.
And I think we have another one, Paul.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I have a quick question about the friend list. Can you hide your online status? Because, for example, sometimes you are not in the mood to play with others or you need some solo time.
Yeah, that's actually, so that would be, that was an addition for us to make. The friend, it would be a mock-up that we show how we wanted the community to be, but absolutely that is something I thought about. If someone didn't want to be seen at the time, that can be absolutely fine. You can just go ahead and you would check the button and it will make the condition happen where you're not seen to your other friends as live. That can be done. I mean, Discord has that. And I actually researched into it. It's not that hard to implement. It's actually used a couple of conditions. And for the front end, in terms of Steam, so when it comes to Steam can pull what games you're playing. That information can be brought over from the API. And you can also directly access that information and make it so that you can privatize it. So if you don't want people snooping into your things, you can make it private in here, and that way they don't see it. And you can also make it private in Steam once you're completely connected. So that way other people can access it.
Yeah, and then I think just one of the other things to add, they won't necessarily know you're online, and I think one of the beautiful things is when you're ready to play, that's when you go ahead and vote. So if you haven't created or joined a session, basically you're non-existent at that point or basically offline. So once you go ahead and submit your vote, that basically is like a cue that you're ready to game.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And we have another one from Taylor. Another question.
Hey guys, yeah, this is Taylor. I'm one of the global mentors, and I just wanted, not really a question, more so a comment that you guys did a fantastic job. Very impressive, very feature heavy. Also impressed that you used not just the third-party integration, but tackling Tailwind and using Tailwind over Bootstrap. Some people can get intimidated by that, but if you can handle Bootstrap, you can certainly pivot to Tailwind easily. And I think you guys did a fabulous job with the design as well as the features. So great job.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Taylor, yes, we work hard on that. Adding Tailwind was one of my pet peeves. I had previous projects and experience with it. So I'm like, I really want to go ahead and do something different here. And I did with the glass morphism, now that Apple came out with the glass look effect, and now they're going to frosted. I'm like, I definitely want to implement that. And I think it worked well. I mean, you can see the navbar has the refractions in the background where you can do that. That's complex, but it was very exciting to do.
Very modern design. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I think that's all the questions that we have. So thank you guys very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time.
Very nice job, guys. All right, then I think we just have one more project for tonight, which is Trip Thread with Juan, Annabelle, and Mona Lisa.
right. I will start. Good evening. Welcome to our presentation. It's a triple threat. It's presented by Yuan, Mona Lisa, and Annabelle. Today, for this whole project, we will talk about the mission of the project, the contents what we have for this project, and also we will mention about our target user. Also, we will go through our live page and we will present the demos with all the features and the challenge and the future improvements with all our projects. And we'll start with the mission.
Hello everyone, my name is Annabelle and I'm going to talk a little bit about what is about TreeThread. And TreeThread aims to connect travelers around the world by offering a platform with an interactive map experience, destination highlights, and a space for sharing personal travel stories. And the content and main features in our platform is homepage that will contain the interactive map. The other page is destinations, post journals, contacts us, and the authentication system, the login and sign up.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mona Lisa. I'm the third member of this group. Uh, for the target users of our app would be the travel bloggers, backpackers, explorers, anybody who would like to share their experience, and the value that would be provided by our app would be they could get essential informations for their travel, or they can share their journey here. The tech the tech that we used for our app would be for front end, like we used React JS, CSS, and Bootstrap. For back end, we used Flask, Python, JWT authentication, SQL Alchemy, and RESTful API. And we would go ahead and present our live page right now. We'll start with Annabelle.
Okay, just give me a second. So let's go Vegas start working. Just give me a second. I can start. Sorry, I think I am ready now. Okay, so I will walk you through the core functionality of our platform. Uh, First of all, the first page that the user will see when in our platform is this one. We show a globe of the map. It's a map when interactive map when the user hover a country, it will show the name of the country, the currency, and the language. So this is a fun feature that we add to our website to do it interactive. And when you click in a country, for example, Brazil, it will show a little bit of information of the country. and the flag. Also, I'm gonna introduce you about the functionality of sign up and login of the platform. And sign up, just gonna create a new user with the email and the password. So when it's created correctly, it will automatically go to the login form. Now we'll put the credentials. And I will show now the map again. And when you go, for example, this country, Russia, that way from here you will continue explain.
So I did the destination page. For this page, I have the basic of the searching engine. I was fetching the Wikipedia API, so there's a lot of information on the Wikipedia API. What I want to search is I limited the description, the main words, which is a landmark, country, cities. That's why if you type Miami, those city, or you type Manhattan, it's gonna present one description and one pictures on top of it. And if also I did one more the features. If you log in, you will be able to add it to your wish list. So for users in the wish list, any place if they are interested after they read the introduction, they will be able to collect them into the wish list. Yeah, like I said before, I have a little challenge because since the API have so many information, even you type a banana, you can find the information about banana. That's why I have to limit what the keywords when you're searching for it. Um, in the future, the improvements for this page, I do want to have a filter, the way of the filter. For example, you can base the wish list. You can search by alphabet letters, or you can search by collecting them as a wish list of the dates. So it's more organized for user, and they will be able to delete as well. Um, and also, besides those pages, I also want to have one more features. But I haven't doing that. It's if they are interested in the one page, one picture is not can be able to see the whole city or whole landmark. So what I wanna do is I wanna click a button. It's a click for more and fetch one more API. So you will be able to find more all kinds of pictures about one landmark or cities. So you can have a general idea what it looked like. I also did one more page. It's called Contact Us. So for me, I think this is pretty simple for me. It's from common sense. If you are not, it's the contact us is all the users, no matter they are logging or they are not logging users. They all can be able to send us messages. But there's a difference is if you are logging your user, our backend will be able to see the email. So I did not ask the user again to send email. But if you are not logging users, you logged out and you click contact us again, it's gonna ask you name, email, message. So we will be able to reach you back and with your a proper email. And also, if you right now, what I wanted to improve is in the future I wanted to actually set up the Flask email to make sure we have officially email will be able to answer the user back. For this one, I did a little bit. There's a little bit challenge for me because I did for a secure reason. I changed the course in the backend. I actually changed my API, the backend API URL, and what it makes it not work so when after we merge with other two girls part. Um, but yeah, luckily I fixed it, so now it worked probably very well.
Mona Lisa, are you ready?
Yeah. So for me, I worked on the post your journal part. when a user, it's for it will be visible for everybody, but everybody cannot post a journal until and unless you sign up or you log in, and you log in to the platform. So once we log in, we sign up and we log in, we go to the post journal form and we make a post. So we can make a post from here. So this form is where the users can express their thoughts and their memories if they want to post something about it. This is just a simple form, allowing users to just focus on writing. Once they submit the form, they will go into the it will show up in the feed. Yes, this is the detailed form of it, which we can also see from the journal feed. Yes, you are the first person. Let the post we made just shows up the first one uh, in the journal feed part, and this is like a main feed form. So even if you're not a user, you could be able to read journal posts and uh, yeah, and you could go through it. So you could explore, like it is a public journal entry part. It offers a quick snapshot of each journals to encourage engagement of users. The goal is just to keep it visually clean and informative. And this part which we are seeing right now, it is the journal detail page where you can read the detailed post of a user. Okay, that's it from me.
So Juan already mentioned the challenge that she went through when the process of creating and get done our website. I think the first problems that we went through, it was the course when we merged everyone's parts, but thank God like we fixed it. Personally, when like my idea was creating an interactive map when hover over countries that will show the time zone, the weather, the currency, the flag, like giving important information to the user about, like if I am thinking to travel to Brazil, I want to know what is the weather right now, what what is the currency, and just basic things like you need to know before go to the country. So it was like a little bit challenging to get the data from IPF, talking about time zones and weather. So I just get rid of the idea and start working just with the currency and the language, like I showed. For the map, I use a library from React that it calls React Simple Maps. For be able to use all the lists of the countries in the map, I use a topo.json file that already have all the name of the countries, so I can build the map with this library from React. And so basically, to be able to show the currency and the language, I create a custom JavaScript file with a full list of objects for each country to include the currency and language. So it would be more, it would be easy when no fetching like every time. Um, I think Lisa will continue.
Yeah, my main issue, my main problem that I faced, the main challenge was during the merging of the branches, where everybody worked on different like they worked on different parts, and when we merged it, it was a huge. I simply made it in one branch, and there were several parts to it. So when I merged it, everything broke. And while fixing them, it took me a long time. But yes, with the help of Ryan and Taylor and Rick, I solved my issue. And for the parts where what improvements do we want? Uh, for the improvements, I would like to add images to my journals, which would look more attractive, which would look more appealing to the users, where they could post their own images, their own experience pictures into the journal posts, which would really be very which would be very impressive for our application. And I also want to add the uh, comments, where users or anybody from outside, they could come and post their own comments into the profile. Yuan?
So by the end of the project, I want to say thank you. Special thanks to Fortix Tech Academy, give us opportunity, bring us from zero to until the beginning. But I believe we are on the right path. I want to special thank for our teacher Rick, that his patience and encouragement will make us very confident to continue on this journey. And Ryan Taylor and other mentors, you guys have been helping us a lot. You make the no matter like solutions or other informations more accessible for us, and you make it fun for us to debugging. So we really appreciate that. Um, yeah. So by the end, if you guys have any questions, please let us know, and we really appreciate for your time and enjoy that, please. Yeah. Paul, go ahead, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I have a question about the post your journal button. For example, in terms of cybersecurity, are there any posting limits or delays to prevent bots from spamming and crashing the site? Have you think about it?
Right now, we had a very short time to build this like application. So in this short time, we haven't thought about the clear all the glitches that we're gonna get, if or the security issues that we get. But right now, we are working on JWT and like a token that we have. That's once the user is logging in, they have a token that is issued. So right now, it's a small platform, but as we go forward, we are going to look into it. Thank you, Paul, for the question.
Okay, thank you.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I'm okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, Matthias? Matthias, do you have a question?
So yes. So basically, I like let's say, do you plan to use at least this application for one of the members that made it to better make plans to travel, which would be the actual purpose of it, like actually use the application after the course is over?
Yes. Do you want to answer about it?
Marias, can you say one more time? Can you see this question one more time?
So do you plan to use the application you developed? That's basically what I asked.
So for these applications, we try to combine all the user blogs. There's a lot of travel blogs, but it's more like independent, like a couple's blogs or something. They have been travel the whole world and writing blogs, so you can find the information what attracted you, right? But for this one, what we create, we actually try to create an app that a user they will have interaction. It's a little bit like social media, but they can actually you can post anything. For example, if today Mona Lisa have been travel India, she write down something. you will be able to check the journal. And if you tomorrow you travel, let's say Texas, and you also write a journal, and when we will be able to search all the journal and find out what is interest us. We can have like what Mona Lisa wanted to do in the future, leave comments. There's like interactions between all the users. That's what we try to do. It's not just like an independent, like a someone's special, someone's blog. It's more like international, like for all the travelers blog. Yeah, something like that.
Very impressive.
Thank you. Is there any questions?
Any other questions?
Yes, Juan.
Your mic is off.
I really like what you girls did. It looks great. I mean, I can see a lot of featuring here, especially with when it comes to locations. If you dedicate it just to the traveling and everything, you can even add, Google has a robust map API data, and you can even sync that in there. It can automatically communicate. It can let users know when to travel. They can click maybe a part of the map and already take them to the Google. You can add that. There's so much room to really make this so incredible. And what you girls have is amazing. I mean, once you have your profile set up, you can start favoring things. You can even have maybe like your user profile and maybe a community page or a blog page, and really start just really filling in a lot of this. I mean, it's a lot, and the room for growth is just so amazing. I mean, it looks great. I love it. I know it's very complicated because I was struggling with tools a lot too, especially. I had a lot of challenges with them. And like Paul said, I also had to think about a lot of edge cases because I tested my app for like if 10 users click something 20 times, and it quickly just overloaded the computer very fast, very quickly. So I had to add a lot of fallbacks, a lot of edge cases, but I know how complicated it is. And I know that it's not easy. And this is really good. I really like it.
Yeah, thank you, Yuan, for your feedback. Yeah, there is a lot of platform. There are a lot of points that we can cover in this platform right now. Yeah, we are looking forward to keep working on it in future. And for us, like it's kind of an achievement that we have done here. Like everybody, all of us are new to tech, so we are still learning. And yeah, we're looking forward to keep working on it.
Any other questions? All right, well, that wraps it up. We had 5 great projects present tonight, and we also had a really cool speaker. So I like to do this event on a Friday night because it gives a nice close not only to the week, but to the program as a whole. So we invite you guys to go out and celebrate with your friends and family, enjoy your weekend, take some time off, relax, have a celebratory drink if that's your thing. And then be ready to go on Monday for the career support process where we help you guys start the job hunt. But a big congratulations. We want you guys to feel very proud and to enjoy the weekend with some celebration. So very nice job, guys. We had great projects. And I hope you guys have a really great night. Thank you all for attending and congrats.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for this opportunity.
Yeah,
Bye, everybody.